Okay, let's be real, we've all been there. We've all met the player. They have an extremely tragic backstory that it's 17 pages long. The part it's barely level 1. A for effort, babe, but you don't need a whole 5-part series book. You just need a hook. Welcome back to the D&D guide for the glittery player. Today we're going to be talking about how the backstory needs to be a good hook, your background connected, and your personality iconic. So you got your class, your species, and your background. It's time to now breathe life into that character, but not too much of it, just a tiny bit. So today we're going to be talking about how to create a backstory that actually connects with your background, how to make sure that all of this is short, simple, and playable, and it allows you to have the necessary steps to create a personality that it's fun to play at the table and it's not overly complicated or just non-existent. Because I've played with players whose personality is non-existent. Background is not your whole story. Yes, your character was a sage, a farmer, a criminal, but that's not what they are. They are a person that is or used to be one of those things. You can be a noble that doesn't act like one anymore because they lost everything. You can be an urchin that is now a diva. You can be a guild artisan that is now more about destruction than creation. Your background might inform your skills or maybe offer a very cool roleplay detail, but it's not necessarily the blueprint for everything that your character does. A background is like a launch pad. It tells you where your character comes from, but it doesn't tell you who they are or where they're going. Also, the narrative of your campaign more than likely is going to take your character quite far from where it started. So let's think of some of the backgrounds from 2014. Let's say that you chose folk hero. This doesn't mean that even 6 months after your character has been an adventurer, he's still going to be talking about the exploits or all the things that he did when he was still back home. He has probably done some cool stuff after that. Now the question is, how does being a folk hero affect your character? Are they sick of it? Are they proud of it? Are they ready to do the next thing? Are they seeking fame? There's so many different ways where you can take this background. So just saying that you're a folk hero is not enough for me to know who your character is. What matters the most is how your background adds dimension to who this character is. It's not about how many paragraphs it took you to tell us what your character has done before the campaign started. Example, as you might remember from our last episode, my Rapunzel-inspired character, I decided to go with the scribe background. So I want to say that she's always writing down notes, and anytime that the party encounters anything, she's writing details about it. Her handwriting is gorgeous because as a scribe locked away in the tower, she learned how to write very fast, and anytime that the party doesn't remember anything, they can always count on her to go and check her journal to look for the information. That is background doing what it's supposed to do. Number 2, keep your backstory short and simple. You just want to give your DM a reason to include you into this world and this adventure. You don't want to give them like a lore dump. Here are some of my recommendations for a backstory. 2 to 3 paragraphs max. If you can make bullet points, even better. 1 conflict or mystery, 1 personal goal, 1 emotional hook. Quick examples. She ran away from finishing school once her magic woke up. He's been chasing rumors of a missing sibling that he wants to reunite with. They used to work for a terrible noble like a king or a queen, and now they steal from them on the side. Let's be honest, babe. The entire life story of your character doesn't have to be jammed into the backstory. You don't need a super detailed novel explaining how your character is the kid of farmers that discovered that magic could happen, so they went to study with a wizard and they were doing great, but then they were betrayed by the wizard. So after a few months, they went on an adventure on this specific town and met this specific person, and then eventually they made a pact with an archfey that gave them the powers that they always wanted as they were studying with the wizard. And now they're out in the world trying to find the wizard to get revenge. Super long. Do you think we can summarize all of that in 1 sentence? They were betrayed by their arcane mentor, so they made a pact with an archfey out of spite just to become powerful. Boom, there you go, save you 3 pages. The sequence of events is not as important as the emotional impact that it had in your character. So okay, they were betrayed by their mentor. Are they still overly naive and trusting, or because of that did they become jaded and distrustful? At the end of the day, me remembering the name of the wizard that betrayed you is not going to show up in every single session. But your character being super naive, because they're always super naive, and the rest of the party having to rescue them from something silly because they trust everybody, or they being extremely jaded, and NPCs that they encounter having to like get over that distrust. That's what I'm gonna see in most sessions. So think about, how does this backstory create the character that I'm playing with, and how are the DM and the players gonna see this in the day-to-day play? How does my backstory change who my character is? And think about the things that your fellow players and DM are gonna see at the table on the regular. So don't just write and write and write for the sake of lore. Write specific things that create a living, breathing person. Example, my Rapunzel-inspired character didn't know that she was a stolen or kidnapped princess. All she knows is that she was raised in this tower and Mother Gothel is her mother. So one night, she found a journal that Mother Gothel left behind, and she discovered that she had been kidnapped as a baby. So in a total panic at night, she ran away. She's now hiding from Mother Gothel while making active efforts to find her real family. There you go. Backstory. Less than one paragraph. You know what's up. Number 3. Personality is what others remember at the table. No one remembers your exact subclass at the table. But what everybody's going to remember is that your rogue is obsessed with shiny things, and then your paladin says, "Pardon?" every time someone swears at the table. So once again, take some of the things that we mentioned within the background and the backstory to inform that personality that is going to shine once you're role-playing at the table. So here I have some tips to get you at least started in thinking about the personality of your character. First, pick 1 or 2 signature quirks, which pretty much can be anything you feel comfortable with. Think about their voice, their gestures, their obsessions. Make your choices table-facing, thinking, yes, this person is very shy, okay, but you can be shy and just be quiet, or you can be shy and roleplay how they like giggle when they see someone, or someone talks to them and they refuse to, I don't know, respond and like write everything. So always make decisions that you can enact on the table, facing your fellow players. For example, for Rapunzel, I've thought of a few of them. For example, she always braids her hair at night. She keeps a journal but doesn't let anyone see it. She collects bullets, spoons, random pieces of twigs, or just weird things that she wants to keep for herself. She never swears, so she maybe makes up absurd curse words that don't really exist, but she just doesn't know that, so she makes up her own. So those are some examples that I thought about. But let's talk a little bit more about my Rapunzel. My Rapunzel is sweet to the core, but because she never really socialized with anyone besides her fake mom, she swings between being overly trusting of strangers or hiding behind another party member and giggling because she's so shy. One minute she's terrified of a raccoon, and the next minute she's besties with the random goblin we found in the side of the road. She over apologizes, gets flustered easily, and every time we're taking a short rest, she just spends the whole hour brushing her hair. She's awkward but charming and kind of sweet, so it makes her kind of lovable in a silly way. So here is your glittery checklist now that you're making your character. Number 1, background. Make sure that it's connected to the story you want to tell, but make sure that it's flexible. Backstory. Short, interesting, but full of hooks that the DM can use to build your character and connect you into the world. And personality. Make it iconic, but make it table-facing. Things that you can use to roleplay or interact with the DM and the players at the table. Whether your character is a haunted sailor, glittery goblin, diva with anger management issues, it doesn't matter who they are. Just make sure that it's a character that you want to play, and it's a character that will be fun to interact with at the table. So now let's go to the next episode. In the next episode, we're going to really go deep into personality. For this episode, I just wanted to slightly, just like the little top of it, we're gonna fully go deep into personality. We're gonna talk about traits, how to roleplay stats. We're gonna talk about all of that. So down below, just let me know some of the weird quirks that some of your D&D characters have had in the past. I'm gonna be honest, I just want to steal them. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Forms your skills, and I'm pretty sure that you will. They were betrayed by their arcane mentor. Number 2, keep your backstory short and simple. Don't create a backstory